Nobody, and I mean nobody, is born disciplined. Nobody. It is something that you train. And so in this video I want to go into the 5 steps that help me build ironclad discipline and how you can follow the same recipe. So first of all, I'll break down these 5 steps and then I'll dive deeper afterwards. So the first step is you have to scatter your identity around this. Because if you keep telling yourself that, hey, I'm not a disciplined person, I can never follow through, I'm just a loser. If you keep holding on to that story you're telling yourself, you will never actually build discipline. Never. The second thing then is that you need absolute clarity. Who do you want to become as a person, and why is it crucial that you succeed in that endeavor? Because if you don't know where you're going, then, what's the point of being disciplined? That's the thing here. Unless you know what you want and why you want it, it will always be impossible to keep up this discipline. Because you don't have a strong enough reason why you must do it. Step number 3 follows from step 1 and 2. Meaning, you know where you want to go. You are stopping and you're quitting the old identity, and now it's time to reinforce a new identity as the person you want to become, as someone who is disciplined, as someone who is disciplined, as someone who is determined, as someone with a purpose, with a passion for something, a mission so strong that you will overcome any objective. And so that's the identity you need to reinforce. Step number 4 then follows from that. Because guess what? No matter how much you tell yourself like, hey, I'm the greatest, I am disciplined, unless your actions actually are congruent with who you say you are, it's not going to change anything. So step number 4 is to start making promises to yourself and build trust with yourself by keeping those promises. Guess what? If you tell yourself, I'm going to go to the gym, and you do it every time, now you're building trust with yourself. You are building confidence and you're building self-esteem. And step number 5 is you've got to overcome the things from the past. Because guess what? There are things in your past that have been suppressed to your subconscious that are still having an effect on you. So it might be self-doubt. It might be the feeling that you're not good enough. And until you start unraveling those things and start really resolving them, you will always have that nagging feeling of, this is not me. I'm not meant for success. And all of those fears and doubts that have been put into your mind during your life. And so let's go and break all of these steps down. And if you're getting value from this video so far, give it a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to have more discipline in their life. If you know someone who's trying to grow, to improve, share this video with them. So let's dive right in. So for step number 1, which is to let go of your old identity, I'm gonna give you 2 examples of this. But first, do this with me. Just say out loud, I'm as mad as hell. I am so fucking pissed off. I'm just furious. Just say and do that with me for a moment. You are as mad as fucking hell. Just let that anger out. And just notice how that makes you feel. Just notice that. By just expressing the words and just having the gestures to go with it, you are literally feeling more angry inside. Meaning that if you reinforce like, oh, I'm such a loser, I can never get myself to do anything. Oh yeah, I'm just not disciplined. The more you reinforce that, the more you become it. And that's the thing. It's not that you are not disciplined. It's that you are telling yourself that you aren't. And that reinforces the belief in yourself, right? Or in this case, the disbelief. And so for that, let me give you 2 examples. Back in high school, I was being bullied on a day-to-day basis to the point where I was depressed. I had no social skills. I had no self-esteem. And so in those times, I believed that I was a fucking loser, that I was meant for nothing at all, that like people were against me. Everyone was just hating on me, right? And those beliefs, they reflected my outside world. The beliefs were internal, and because of that, I behaved in certain ways. And I got the results as a result of that. Meaning that if you believe everyone is against you, you will see things in your day-to-day life in a different light. So you may just be having a casual conversation with someone, and when you believe that you are not good enough, that people dislike you, you walk away from that conversation like, oh my god, that person just hated me. While in reality, they might actually like you. But your mind does not want you to believe those things because it's not congruent with who you say you are. And so for years and years, I had to struggle to overcome that belief. I had to just take action and convince myself otherwise through words as well as actions. But we'll get to that a bit later on. And so it was basically a vicious circle downwards. Because of me being bullied, I felt lonely about myself. I projected that energy into the world. People didn't really receive it well, and I thought people were against me, and so that made me feel lower about myself. I projected even more negativity into the world, got terrible results, and that reinforced the belief that I wasn't good enough, right? And so the more you have those beliefs, the more you have that identity, the more you tell yourself, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm the other thing, the more you fucking label yourself as something negative, the more you become that kind of person. So the first thing is to stop reinforcing it. So step number one for that, if you have the thought, the last thing you want to do is actually verbalize it. Because if you think it, that's one thing. If you now say it out loud, either to other people or to yourself, or even like you're typing it on Reddit like, hey, I'm such a depressed loser, well, guess what? That's who you're becoming. So don't fucking verbalize it. Do not do it. Step number two, try to catch yourself out of it. So if you hear yourself saying those kinds of words, just stop yourself in the act and say stop. Then move on to step number three, which is to first put things in the past tense, right? You were someone who wasn't disciplined. You were this loser. Now you are becoming someone else, right? So put it in the past tense. And then for step number four, you want to formulate a counter belief. So I'm not disciplined to every day I'm becoming someone who is disciplined. So reframe it. And so one more quick example before I move on to the second step. And that is I used to always say to myself like, oh yeah, I'm just terrible with names. I would apologize to every single person I would meet like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm gonna probably forget your name. And guess what? I forgot almost everybody's names. I would meet someone and then 5 minutes later it's like, what was your name again? I already forgot, right? And so one day I changed that up. I told myself, you know what? People's names are important to them. And if I want to be a more charismatic person, I need to remember people's names. That's the new belief I took on. And guess what? Like that, literally overnight, I went from almost remembering nobody's name to almost remembering everybody's name. That's the power your story and your beliefs have over you. It can literally cause a shift like that if you apply this the right way. Super, super powerful stuff. So the second step then. And for this, I want to go back to those times when I was depressed. And even at some points I was suicidal. And the one thing that got me out of that was having a clear vision for my future. Of knowing who the person was I wanted to become. Of what I wanted to achieve in my life. That's the thing that literally kept me alive. And so here's the thing. So many people are saying like, oh, I want to be more disciplined. I want to do X, Y, and Z. And then I ask them, why is that important for you? Why do you want to become this person? Like, who do you actually want to become? And people are like, and it's like 5 hours later and they're still like, I don't know. Right? And so that's the thing. If you don't know why you're doing it, how can you expect yourself to stay disciplined throughout it? Because guess what? Discipline is hard. And if you don't know why you're doing it, if you don't have a strong enough reason why, you're never going to take the actions needed to become the disciplined person, to become someone who is capable of pulling through no matter what happens. And so that's the thing. You need to know where you're headed, and why you are heading that way. Because guess what? If you know that, now it's like, wait a minute, I'm wasting my time here on my phone. I'm not doing X. And now because you have the clarity and the intent, the reason why you must do this, boom. Now you can be like, okay, this is not helping me. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna head this direction. And so for this, let me give you one example. And that is for me, this channel here. Again, I told you, I've been through depression. I've been through some suicidal moments. And the reason why I am here in front of you, sharing this story and helping you reach your potential, is because I don't want other people to go through the same suffering. Yes, I built my confidence. Yes, I rebuilt my self-esteem. Yes, I rebuilt my social skills. But it took me about 14 years to do it. I want to take that time and shortcut it for you so that you can do it in a few months or maybe a year, right? That's my goal. That's my reason why. If I didn't have that, I would not be here. If I didn't have that reason why, I would have quit a long time ago. And so a strong enough reason why is going to help you to do anyhow. That's the crucial element here. So moving on to step number 3 then. It is this. Remember when I told you that if you keep repeating it to yourself like I'm a loser, I'm not disciplined, that's what you become. Let's do the opposite, right? And so we want to start reinforcing a new identity of like, hey, I am disciplined. I am this kind of person. I am someone who goes for their goals 1000%, right? Whatever your new identity is, be clear on what it is that you want and start reinforcing that. I want you to tell yourself in your own words to other people that, hey, this is who I will become, period. And even back in the days when I was depressed, when I was suicidal, I still had that vision going forward of this is the person I am becoming, period. That's what kept me going. And that's what I kept reinforcing. But that's the thing. It's not enough. You need step 4 with this. Because here's the thing. Your brain needs proof, not promises of you getting better. Meaning if you tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm becoming such a great athlete. And you're never actually in the gym. You never work out. You never go out for a run. Guess what? Your mind is gonna think like, yeah, no. Sorry mate, this is fucking bullshit. Right? And so you need the proof to back it up. So let me get you this for an example. If you want to become an avid reader, that's your identity. The way you do it is you pick up one of these things, you open it, and you read. Right? The next day, you're gonna pick up this thing, you're gonna open it, you're gonna read. The day after that, you're gonna open this, you're gonna read. Right? See the point? No matter how many times you tell yourself, oh yeah, I'm an avid reader. I am constantly learning to improve myself. But you're not actually doing it. Then your mind's going to be like, Nope, you are not. You're just fooling yourself. And so that's the thing here. You can fool other people any day of the week. Because they can see your actions, right? What you do in private, they don't know. But you cannot fool yourself. And so if you don't match your actions to who you say you're going to become, it's not going to work. And so you start with reinforcing verbally in your own head, to yourself, in writing, to other people, anywhere. You're going to reinforce your new identity. And then on the second thing is you're going to back it up with your actions. So for training your discipline, here's step 0. This exercise is going to help you. You're going to take out this thing. And throughout your day, set multiple alarms. There are some apps for you that can do this, where it's just random times throughout your day. And so what you're going to do is you're going to pick something that's just mildly painful. Meaning something that takes effort and that's just not fun to do. So maybe it's like doing 5 push-ups, or doing some other form of exercise, or something. Anything at all. As long as it's not something you are naturally inclined to do. So it has to be something that's mildly painful, where it takes effort. And what you're going to do is as soon as this thing rings, As soon as the alarm goes off, you do that thing. Here's the reason why this works so well. Because you are now training yourself that, hey, whenever I say I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna fucking do it. Now you're training yourself like, hey, I can trust myself. Whenever I say X, X fucking happens. And if you trust other people, that's great. When you trust yourself, that's confidence. That's self-esteem. That's trust in yourself. And the more you reinforce that, the more you are being disciplined, the better it is. And the easier it becomes to be disciplined the next day. Remember, nobody, not a single baby is born with ironclad discipline. Not a single person. Disciplined people are made. And this is one of the exercises to do that. And so, step number 1 then, for this, is to start using the discipline to make promises as to what you're going to do towards the person you want to become. And then actually keep those promises. That's literally it. That's the process through which you develop this muscle of discipline. And so these first 4 steps, they will get you very far. Very far. Because if you can do these 4 steps, you are going to make progress. You are going to build discipline. And you are going to do the things no matter what. Thing is, at some point, self-sabotage is going to kick in. Or imposter syndrome. Why? Because there are still some beliefs within you that are still there that make you feel like you're not worthy of the success. So an example for me would be, because I've been bullied so much, I felt like a fucking loser my entire life. Or at least most of it. I had to resolve the negativity around that. I had to make peace with that past. I had to take that baggage out of my backpack, throw it away. That's what I had to do. Because think of it like this. No matter how much you keep marching forward, right? If that backpack is so heavy, at some point you're gonna wear yourself out. So the more of that baggage from the past you can just throw out of your backpack, the lighter your journey is gonna become. So I'm gonna give you a few seconds to grab a pen and a piece of paper, pause this video if you have to. And there are a few questions I want you to write down and answer after this video is done. You have given it a thumbs up and you have subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. And so for that, the first question I want you to write down is this. What is the worst thing that ever happened to me? What is the worst thing? Or if there are multiple terrible things that happened in your past, write down all of those. Now, question number 2. Look at the answer you have written down and ask yourself, what identity have I given myself because of this? What beliefs have I formed based upon this? How did this event shape me? Write those things down after this video. Because guess what? Those are going to be the beliefs that are still inside of you. That make you feel maybe that you're not good enough. Maybe you feel like success is not for you. Maybe you feel like you're just a loser. That you're someone who can never be disciplined, can never be successful, right? And it's based upon your past, upon the things that have happened to you before. Like nobody is born thinking they're a loser. There's no baby who comes out of the womb like, I'm such a failure, right? No. Every single baby is a ball of joyous energy. And then things happen during a lifetime that make us lose our confidence, our faith in ourselves, our joy in some cases, right? Those things happen. And with these questions, what you are going to do is you're going to unravel that. You're going to figure out for yourself, oh, wait a minute. So I don't believe in myself because this happened? And now, as you're aware of it, now you can process things. Now you can be like, you can take any lessons from this and just be like, okay, I'm letting go of this. Here's the crucial step, by the way. Taking those lessons from your past experience. Because guess what? One of the reasons your mind clings to those experiences is that it is afraid that if you forget it, if you let go of it, that you will repeat the same mistakes. And so when you are thinking about these things, when you're contemplating them, when you are working on emotionally resolving them, you need to think about, okay, what did I learn from this? You're going to take the lesson, you're going to grab it from them, and then you're going to let go emotionally of this thing. And the more things that you do that with, again, it's like grabbing the weight from your backpack, releasing it, dropping it, so that your weight that you're carrying around becomes less and less and less. And then the third question I want you to write down for this is, from this experience, what superpower did I develop? And I know this sounds strange maybe, so let me give you an example from myself. So for me, again, my reason why is because I've been through depression. I've been through having periods of having no confidence at all, no self-esteem, no social skills. I've been there, and it was a horrible experience. But looking back, it's also my superpower. I would not be the person I am today if I didn't go through those years of being bullied, if I didn't go through that period of being depressed, if I didn't go through some brief suicidal thoughts. If I didn't go through all of those things, I would not be the person you see before you. And so the superpowers that I developed from this were first and foremost personal development. I would have never grown if I didn't have those low moments. I would have just been cruising at the level I was at, and this would have been continued on so much longer. Right? And now what happened? Because I was being bullied, it's like this. And now I had to completely rebuild myself to go like this. Right? And so those times, they forced me to grow. They forced me into a path of continuous improvement. And so that's the first superpower. The second superpower is a bit of empathy and duty. Because guess what? I am here to help other people just like yourself to reach their potential. Right? To become more disciplined, to feel happier, and to live a better life. And if I didn't go through these struggles, and if I hadn't been there, I wouldn't have known the pain and the struggle that comes from it. And if I didn't have that, I wouldn't have the mission and the purpose to bring this information to you. And so what are the positive effects of what happened to you? That is this third question here. And as you put this together, resolve those things and realize that your past is not your future. You can grow over this. You can turn your past struggles into something much, much greater. And so I think it's Dean Graziosi that said that your mess can become your message. Meaning, maybe you've been through a breakup that just broke your heart. And maybe because of that, you became 10 times the man you were before. Again, your mess, the breakup, can become your message. Maybe you want to help other people with that kind of struggle, right? Or maybe your life is just 10 times better because you leveled up as a man, because you didn't want to go through that hardship again. Maybe your parents were always pushing you to do better, and it made you feel like you weren't good enough. And maybe because you took that, you put in so much more practice that you became great at whatever you do, right? That's another superpower of yours. If you can use the past and not only learn from it, resolve the issues, but then also use it to empower yourself, to think of the benefits, to use that as your superpower, oh my God, you will scatter through all of those glass ceilings that have been in your life for years or even decades. If you go through these 5 steps as I laid them out, you will develop ironclad discipline. Your self-image will improve greatly. You will have so much more confidence, and you will make tremendous, and I mean tremendous progress towards your dreams, towards your goals, because nothing can stop you if you are disciplined, because you will do things whether you feel like it or you don't feel like it. you will reach your goals because you will do whatever it takes instead of what is convenient, what is easy. Nothing can stop you once you go through these steps, once you go and develop this ironclad discipline. And so if you're still watching until this point, there are two things I still want to give you. Number one, if you want to become the best version of yourself, the most confident version, go over to transformationalconfidence.net, where I have an absolutely free 5-day mini course that's gonna teach you some of the foundation, some of the best lessons I learned in 14 years of personal development. I had a lot, and I mean a lot, of trial and error. I spent close to 10,000 euros on my education, on my personal training. And for free, in 5 days, you will get some of my best lessons over those 14 years. And the last thing then, if you like this video, if you enjoyed it, which you have, because otherwise you wouldn't be here, go ahead, give this video a quick thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, because I'll be bringing you way more content that help you unlock your potential. And what I'm doing here is no BS. Personal development and peak performance content. So if you want to get the best out of yourself, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so that you will be notified whenever a new video drops, and give this video a quick thumbs up, share it with someone who needs this, and I'll see you in the next video.